Jesus spoke about somebody to come after him, the Paraclete. In 1 John, Jesus is called a comforter. In John 14, verse number 16, Jesus says the following, "And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another comforter to be with you forever, the Spirit of truth." Also, there's indications that this comforter is actually the prophet like Moses, because in John chapter 16 it reads, "He will not speak on his own authority. He will only speak what he hears, and he will tell you what is yet to come." Does that not sound like Deuteronomy? "I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak all that I command him"? In fact, we know the prophet like Moses is supposed to foretell the future, because that's why the test of prophecy was given straight after the verses speaking about the prophet like Moses. Now, if this comforter is the Holy Spirit, who's supposed to be 100% God, can you imagine a God who doesn't speak on his own authority? A God who has to be told what to say? He has to speak what he hears? I don't know about Jews, but that does not make sense to me at all.
The Paraclete does not speak on his own authority, but reveals what is to come. Now, Zakir said, well, how can that be God? Each of the divine persons has chosen to take a different role in the salvation economy, and they do so willfully and freely. And what this means is, could any mere creature ever say that they perfectly do what God has assigned them to do? Even Muhammad had to be told his sins were forgiven, right? But the Paraclete has no sins to be forgiven.
Dr. White mentions in the Paraclete sayings that verse 26 says it's the Holy Spirit, but as Gary M. Bird shows in the new NIV commentary, not all manuscripts agree with Dr. White. Some say Spirit of truth, and I've already shown from 1 John that the word Spirit can be interpreted as a prophet, and remember, he shall not speak on his own authority. Please think about this. It's not rocket science. God speaks on his own authority. If he speaks on anyone's authority, he's not God. Common sense. And once again, I'm asking Dr. White to explain to everybody that the Comforter who's supposed to come, he does not speak on his own authority. Can you imagine a God who does not speak on his own authority?
No! 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 No!
No! No! What? No!
He shall speak what he hears. Can you imagine a God that has to be told what to say, folks? Come on, we don't need degrees to understand that God does not be told what to say, and God does not speak on anybody else's authority. So please explain it to us, Dr. White. If us Muslims don't understand things, then you can explain to everybody here how this role system works. This comforter to come after Jesus is like the prophet like Moses. He fits the description of the prophet like Moses, and Jews and Christians were still waiting for him in the 7th century. So as far as Dr. White cannot disprove my points of Surah 7157, we must admit that there was a prophet who is going to be like Moses.
We are told, can you imagine a God? Can you imagine a God who would do these things? Who would be told what to say in regards to the Holy Spirit? Guess what, folks? I can imagine a God who loved me so much that he entered into his own realm to give his life so I might live. That's an amazing thing to imagine. Thank you.
After all of the rubbish they gave no textual proof. Everything was about how they feel and how Jesus made them feel and how this made them feel and how that made them feel. Not only did I say, well, making you feel good is no evidence for anything, because the drug addict will say the drugs make them feel good.
Can you imagine a God who does not speak on his own authority?
I can imagine a God who loved me so much that he entered into his own realm to give his life so I might live. That's an amazing thing to imagine.
Can you imagine a God who does not speak on his own authority?
What? No.
وإذ قال عيسى ابن مريم يا بني إسرائيل إني رسول الله إليكم مصدقا لما بين يدي من التوراة ومبشرا برسول يأتي من بعد اسمه أحمد فلما جاءهم بالبينات قالوا هذا سحر مبين.
اللهم صل على محمد يا رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.